Welcome to Leadership Devotionals. In the last episode, we talked about Nehemiah. When he arrived in Jerusalem, in the first 3 days, he just simply observed and listened. Listen with empathy so that it will increase the awareness in him on the things that they need to do, on the challenge ahead, and on the needs that has to be filled. He listened. And in listening, eventually, he shared the vision. Okay? He shared the vision that God has stirred in his heart to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Now we are on the 4th installment of Nehemiah the servant leader, and on the 3rd installment of the challenge placed before Nehemiah. In this episode, we will see that this inspirational and persuasive leader, servant leader, was met with a response. Okay? I have said in the last episode, after listening, after being aware, he started to persuade the people. He told them of the vision to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. The vision that says, see the trouble we are in? Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem and we will no longer be in disgrace. This was the vision that he shared with the people around him. Now, he was met with a response, and this is recorded in Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 18. Because he listened, he was aware, and he persuaded, the response is, let us start rebuilding. That was the response of the people. They bought in to the vision of Nehemiah. It was so easy for Nehemiah to convince the people because he started with a listening heart and a heart filled with empathy. And the people felt it. The people perceived that here we have a leader who is empathetic. We have a leader who understands us. We have a leader who is with us together in this vision. And because of that, he got the response he needed. And that is recorded in Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 18. Let us start rebuilding. After analyzing what the project entailed, Nehemiah laid out the objectives and then delegated responsibilities to various teams or family group. Because the enthusiasm was there, because the people united to rebuild the walls, Nehemiah can go about with the work. He laid out the plans, he laid out the objectives, delegated responsibilities, and make assignments and deployments to various people as to the role and to the area where they're going to work. Each knew clearly what was expected of him or her. Thus, Nehemiah provided a lesson on motivation for the Christian leader. When people know what they're supposed to do, when people know what is expected of them, and they were properly equipped and inspired and motivated to do what they're supposed to do, this is the lesson that Nehemiah has left for us when he motivated the children of Israel to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Motivation is about moving people towards a goal. In the book of Henry Blackaby, Spiritual Leadership, spiritual leadership is moving people on God's agenda. Moving. That is dynamic. That's never static. That's never stagnant. Moving. It does not stay in one place. It progresses, it improves. And motivation is about moving people towards a goal. It's not pushing them. It's not, shoving them. It's not whipping them. It is motivating them to move towards a goal. It is most easily achieved when it meets a need in those being led. When those being led see that a need from their end is met with this goal, motivation simply falls in. Or when they can see that they are achieving the mission to which they are committed. Of course, it starts with leadership. Leadership showing the way that they are leading in achieving the mission. And when people see their leaders doing it, they follow. Much more when the leader and the followers share the same mission. When they share the same mission, oh, the beauty of everyone working towards the goal, being motivated by the mission that they are committed to. So, what's the role of the leader? The leader clarifies the need, giving the team a reason to celebrate what they do. When they have achieved or filled in the need, it's always a reason to celebrate what they do. The leader's conviction can be very compelling. And so it starts with the leader believing and buying into his own project, into the vision of the organization. It starts with the leader, and that conviction will just simply, be palpable. That conviction will flow like a stream to the people around him. And when the people feel that conviction of the leader, this conviction, the leader's conviction, can be very compelling. And this conviction is heightened in followers as the leaders walk the talk. That's why it's very important that we practice what we preach. Because when we walk the talk, we build on integrity, and integrity is a foundational component of trust. When people trust their leaders because they can see their leaders authentic and transparent, moved by the mission, moved by moral values, the followers will be heightened in their motivation and conviction also. Motivating others, leaders, is essentially looking ahead and also giving a feedback to people. Great, you're doing just good. You're moving from point A to point B. Always give a feedback. Always learn to appreciate. And when there is a need to reprimand, reprimand in the most loving manner. Give a feedback so that the person will improve rather than putting them down. That's the role of feedback. We do not find out until the 3rd chapter in the book of Nehemiah that there were a number of people who preferred to stand back. Yes, there were lots of people who were motivated to follow Nehemiah, but just like in any other organization, just like in any other gathering, there will be people who will just stand back, observe, and do nothing. The same thing in chapter 3 of Nehemiah happened to him. Stand back and watch rather than bend their backs to the task. It is not surprising that these were the nobles, the Adirim, or translated as the exalted. They are actually the failed leaders of the past. We can find this in Nehemiah chapter 3 verse 5. They don't want to participate because if Nehemiah becomes successful, it will magnify their own failure in the past. There will be people like that, dear leaders. It was also expected that opposition from the outside is there. Sanballat and Tobiah would create difficulties for the children of Israel. But it is another thing altogether to also have, more importantly, opposition from within the ranks. When there is a traitor, trust, among the team members takes a nosedive. That has to be addressed immediately. Otherwise, the rest of the team, this will be very infectious, and the rest of the team will have a problem. Will not trust each other, and it will destroy the team. That's why opposition from within has to be addressed immediately. But despite the opposition, whether from without or from within, Nehemiah was quick to give credit to those involved in building the wall, and he acknowledged the group leaders individually. Notice this technique. He recognizes the need to affirm and acknowledge the team. By affirming those who are working, by acknowledging those who are helping, and encouraging them, the people see that these people are the ones working, and it further isolated the people who are not helping. And eventually, they reveal themselves. And when they have revealed themselves, that's also the point where the leader can address such a problem. Here, Nehemiah used the positive enhancement technique by giving credit to those who are involved in building the wall and acknowledge the group leaders individually. He recognized the need to affirm and acknowledge the team, and because of such affirmative, positive reinforcement techniques, Nehemiah was able to finish the building of the wall. Fellow leaders, let us learn from this lesson. Positive affirmation, positive reinforcement not only helps us differentiate those who just stand back and oppose us from within, but this technique will also further motivate your people to do good, to do well, and to do great. Not only for the best of the company, but also for the glory of God. God bless you. Hello, fellow leaders. If you have been blessed with the devotional that you have just heard, don't forget to like, share, or subscribe. Because when you do that, more people, more leaders will be blessed with the same blessing that you have experienced. In YouTube channel, click subscribe to Good Shepherd Consultants. God bless you.